Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz with Finster, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. We seem to be having an issue. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but she saw me sit down to do this video, and she was popping up and desperate for attention. I know. Okay, so we'll see what she does. This is Ask Dave. The question is, it's really a fun question. Thank you for asking, person who asked. The question was, what recording have you purchased or repurchased most in your life, in your whole collection? And I said to myself, boy, that's a tough question. What? Do you know what the answer is? No, of course not. It's a very tough question because, I bought a lot of things more than once, and some things like ridiculous amounts of times. But then, all of a sudden, the sun came out, the clouds parted, and the answer came to me. It was Eugene Ormandy's recording of Mussorgsky Ravel, Pictures in an Exhibition on Sony. His first recording of it, not the later RCA recording, which is the one that kept showing up. Annoying. I first heard that recording, well, it was my mother's. It was part of my mother's record collection, and Pictures in an Exhibition is like Mom's favorite piece of the whole world. She just loves it, and we played it all the time when I was a kid, and I just adored it, and I imprinted on it. And I am not the kind of person who has sentimental attachment to first recordings. I really don't. If I hear something that I think is better, I always keep an open mind, and it's better. And so I don't really, lose a lot of sleep over the fact that I might not have an initial recording that I felt very sentimental about. I just don't listen that way. But this recording was different. And the reason it was different is because at the end of The Great Gate of Kiev, Ravel does a thing with a bell, a chime, and a tam-tam, and all this stuff. And that performance, because I had many recordings of Pictures in an Exhibition. I really did. That recording captured the moment, the end of that piece, better than anybody else ever has. It's bong, crash. Oh, it's just amazing. Ormandy's remake doesn't sound anything like it, which leads me to think it was as much the engineers as it was Ormandy, because he just captured the moment perfectly. And the whole performance, quite frankly, is like that. The old castle is just beautifully songful. Bydlow with a heavy ox cart. The ballet of the chicks in their shells is delicious. It's all perfectly characterized, amazingly played, and really well recorded, especially for, CBS or Sony engineers in that period. Just a fantastic sounding record. Well, what happened to it? I had that LP. We played it to death. It finally just died a natural death. I had the thing on 8-track cassette for my bar mitzvah. I wanted it. I got an 8-track player at my bar mitzvah. And the first thing I got was the Ormandy Pictures in an Exhibition. Do you remember how 8-tracks worked? They had 4 different channels, and sometimes you had to wait hours for the channel to switch over because they all had to be the same length. And if one channel had less music than the others, you still had to wait till it played out before it. And in classical music, they would break up the music in the middle of a piece because if time ran out on the channel, they had to switch it, which meant that sometimes the music would stop and you'd wait for 5 minutes before it would switch over and it would start up again in the middle of the thing. Oh, God, they were horrible. But I had the Ormandy Pictures in an Exhibition. It was coupled with Mussorgsky's, Night on Bald Mountain. And I played that thing to death. Finally, it fell apart. I just remember the tape sort of not coming out of the player and just unraveling on me or something. It was a mess. So there was that. Then compact discs came out. And when compact discs came out, all I wanted was the Ormandy Pictures in an Exhibition on Sony. But they didn't release it. That's what made me crazy. They released the George Sell recording, which is great. It's terrific. It's fabulous. It really is. It's one of the great Pictures in an Exhibitions. Right? Right, Finster? Yes? Are we in agreement? She's calmed down a little bit. Yep, there's, okay. You think so? Yeah. So it is. It's terrific, but it's not Ormandy. And I wanted that performance, but it didn't come out on CD. I mean, it just didn't. Finally, I saw it in Japan. So I ordered it from Japan. And then French RCA, of all things, issued it in one of those paper sleeve foldy things, coupled with the Charles Munch Philadelphia Ravel Valse Noble et Sentimentale, that thing. So I got that, and it was in French, and that was like exciting. I got it. Then they put out the Eugene Ormandy Original Jacket Collection, which has, 10 discs of various Ormandy and Philly things, and they included it. Oh, the excitement. I was so excited because, I was working with, for RCA, writing program notes for their, one of their budget reissue series. It was Essential Classics or Basic Classics, or I don't remember what it was called. But I did a bunch of the notes. And when they came to do pictures in an exhibition, they did the RCA one, of course, not the Columbia one. I think it was the RCA one. I was like, oh, please, don't do that one. Do this one. So I got this whole 10 CD box, every single other disc of which I already owned, just to get pictures in an exhibition. Another pictures in an exhibition. So finally, they stuffed it in the Ormandy box, of course. So it's there too. But I think I purchased this pictures in an exhibition 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 6 times. Not counting the original LP that I had, or the 8-track that I got later, but I mean on CD alone. And what really bugged me about this more than anything else, I mean, it just was so frustrating, is I may have bought some other recordings more often of the same thing because I just kept wearing them out. But these were all different remasterings and different issues. So there's that. But what really bothered me about it was this is the recording that I wanted the most but couldn't get. And I really did scour the planet Earth to find it on whatever reissue series and whatever local branch of Sony was operating in whatever territory they were in to try and get my hands on it. And so I did most of the time. And I have all of those versions sitting around here somewhere, all of them. I can't find them all right now, but I found this, the original jacket one. It's coupled with his Scheherazade, which I don't think is one of the great Scheherazades. I mean, it's just one of those fantastic performances. And I always wanted to have it available. And they made it so difficult. And you would think that they wouldn't, because that was meat and potatoes Ormandy repertoire. Really a classic, an iconic performance. And to make it so hard for music lovers to get their hands on it, I found just incomprehensible. And I still do. Finster? Yes? Okay. So we're all on the same page now, and Finster has calmed down a little bit, which is really good. And that's the answer to your question. Thank you for asking it. That was fun. It was fun to think back and try and remember, which recordings drove me crazy because of their unavailability, and the ones I grabbed whenever I could find them because, you had no choice. And I really did jump through hoops to keep this thing, in my collection and ready to hand at all times. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. What recording did you buy the most of and just keep trying to get your hands on? I'd be interested to know. Take care.